So that would be kind of interesting. More is Better is on Team Unrestricted, and Holy It's Done just mentioned his name real quick. So I don't know if that's if he's playing on Muffin Cutie's account, and if that's a quick sub in that everyone's kind of agreed to because of Muffin Cutie's issues. So we'll have to figure that out. I've actually played with him a number of times before, so he's a solid player.
Or they could just be throwing out names of people that are awesome.
Yeah, well, that's true.
They could very well be the case. But there we go. Okay, so once again, if you're just joining us, we had a few tech issues, so we should be getting into game one shortly.
Sorry, it took me a second. I was trying to think of a guy who was awesome.
So, well, I can't argue that.
Yeah.
I can't argue that one.
Actually, I'll go with like an Isaac Hayes or something.
Isaac Hayes is, well, he was pretty awesome until his whole departure from South Park, unfortunately. That was a little bit of a sticky situation. But still, though, I mean, he was amazing. Yeah, dude.
The singer?
Yeah.
He was the voice of Chef?
Yes.
The singer Isaac Hayes.
Yes.
Like,
for a
bajillion
seasons, he had his own frame in the credits.
Wow,
Isaac Hayes, the chef.
I knew that there was like something with the chef, skipping out on them, but and some issues there. I didn't know that was Isaac Hayes. That's cool.
So, all right. So now 4not's having issues. Hopefully we can get into this pretty soon. So if you're just joining us, we're having a few tech issues to try and go over here. So hopefully we should be back on in. Recapping the bans. mTw.NA banned out TF, Janna, and Karthus. 4not banned out Urgot, Malphite, and Shen. Is this a run? Hopefully this is the run that will be we'll actually finally be getting into this game. These bans
Jace
are coming out
being
really
banned.
quick.
New Jace play this game.
There you go. Well, yeah, not an issue. Not going to be an issue. Actually, I think it's just like a matter of like policy. If I'm ever like in the ban position playing ranked, I'll just ban out the new guy. Not because
I hate guys who do that.
I do that. I absolutely do that.
I can't
not
stand that.
Here's the thing. Not for the other team, but for my own team.
I'm one of the guys that first picks Jace first picks the new champ when he comes out.
I will.
And so I know there's probably people who hate that too.
First week.
I usually do well, so I'm not that bothered.
See, as I was like climbing up to gold, like when I would my whole theory on bans is that I'm not banning out champs. I'm not banning out champs I don't want the other team to play. I'm banning out champs I don't want people on my team to play. And it actually kind of worked for a while. It actually really did because like
I can't even think who would be the other champs.
Champs I don't want my team playing in the event that they're not ideal with them. Blitzcrank comes to mind immediately.
Oh, Blitzcrank is... How can you do that to your team? He's so much fun.
Going through 1300 and 1400, I've seen a lot of Blitzcranks that were not up to par. And I've also seen a lot of Blitzcranks that actually leave the laning phase without ever getting a single kill.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So, yeah. I think Mordekaiser was also another one of them for a while. Like when
and there you go. They would have carried you. They would have carried you because Mord is the best, and you didn't let them play Mord. And
I highly doubt that.
You probably lost all the games you banned Mord.
And and Shaco is another one as well because you always get like the one guy who wants to jungle Shaco, and doesn't gank ever, or on the first attempt of the gank he just ends up giving away double buff. That was my mentality in banning for a very long time.
I always ban champions like Warwick and Udyr. Those are like really common bans for me.
Yeah.
Not because they're particularly overpowered or anything, or that I don't want my team to be playing them. It's because they're so easy to play. They're like such low skill cap champions that someone playing that champion, they could just be terrible and still do okay. And I don't want to lose to a guy that I watch them play and I'm like, wow, this guy is terrible, and I'm losing to him. I want to lose to a guy who's playing someone like Nidalee or Jace or top lane, top lane Vayne or something that's more interesting and requires some sort of skill set where I'm like, yeah, all right, I lost to that guy and he beat me, so I'll give him the tip of the hat. And Warwick and Udyr, I never feel that way. I'm just like, oh, seriously, you're playing Warwick or Udyr in top lane?
I love playing Udyr top lane. I do. No, I seriously do. I think there's oh God, I played a ranked. I was Udyr top. I can't remember. I think it may have actually been in Aurelia, which actually just I kind of managed to force. No. I was actually playing Udyr top lane versus Jax, and I would just kind of like duck weave in and out to try and bait the dodge, and then after that just go in Tiger stance and then just leave and then just try and force them out of lane. But so like I think like one of my top bans, just for personal preference, I just hate. I hate being stuck in mid. I also hate being stuck in mid versus an Ahri, because it's just a really annoying to me sometimes. Because like if like I like to passively farm. I'm not that aggressive of a player really overall. And sometimes, if I just sit back, if I'm trying to farm, if I ever, like, getting hit with both ends, like, the tip of the orb, like, right at the very end of the skill shot when both hits proc, like, immediately, that just takes away my morale completely. And I hate dealing with that so much. And once she hits 6, it's just annoying to gank.
Yeah, Ahri is a very strong champion. So
Yeah.
we'll see, though. 15 seconds left, and we're finally in this game. Hopefully everything works smoothly
I'm
once
crossing
we get
my
in.
fingers. I'm
No
crossing my
no
toes.
more pauses.
I'm crossing
And-
my toes right now. Like, this is hopefully we'll be getting on into this one, but yeah, it's just technical issues be damned. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get through this game. We're gonna get through this tonight because hey, we still have another match after this match is done. Troopers versus Orbit, and Troopers is gonna be a pretty big one to watch. They actually eliminated CLG in the single elim part of the brackets.
To
just
be
the
fair,
last round.
CLG is in Korea along with Dignitas and a number of other teams, but that's still a really impressive feat because I've seen CLG not recently, but a while ago when they were originally in Korea, play a number of matches on the Korean ping and still do fantastically. They've just been able to handle it well. They run their poke comp or something. Regardless, this game should be pretty interesting. And one thing I'm kind of wondering about is mTw in team fights, particularly in the mid game. They have such a strong mid game team fight team. They have tons of CC. They have tons of damage. They're going to be able to just wreck 4not, and that's a serious concern for them. However, because of the teleport and the Nocturne, 4not has so much map control early, and Aurelia, as the game progresses, as long as Aurelia doesn't mess up early, Aurelia should beat Vladimir in lane as it progresses. Vladimir can play defensively and whatnot, but if Aurelia gets any sort of early advantage, Aurelia wins that lane. And so now that's a lane that Nautilus can't gank, because if Nautilus tries to gank top, you have the Orianna teleport and you have the Nocturne coming in, and it's a 3v2, and they're going to lose. And they can't allow that situation. So it's kind of like Aurelia and Vladimir, they're going to be up on an island. And so whoever wins that lane is going to be at an advantage, and it's probably going to be Aurelia. So if Aurelia gets an advantage there, then Vlad won't have the teams to help him. So we'll have to see if that's the case. We do have some issues here, but we'll be back to it shortly. It's probably not that big of a deal. So Aurelia's on an island top. Then it's going to come down to bottom lane, because if you have a top island, generally the focus is going to be towards the bottom lane. So, both teams have a lot of kill potential in that bottom lane, but that Orianna, it could be the key. Morgana can push very aggressively as well, and the nice thing with Morgana versus Orianna can push decently, but not quite as fast as Morgana. So we'll have to see if that's an issue, because Morgana, in order to counter out that teleport potential, might want to just push aggressively Orianna into the tower and then run herself down bottom, so that if Orianna decides to teleport, she's already there. She can force the fight, start it off, and maybe pick up a quick kill and then just get out of there.
So it appears that this time the issue is actually with 4not, with one bad Brad. He's having some internet issues. But in the meantime, and this is actually just something historically with mTw that I've always greatly enjoyed, and it makes me smile every time.
It makes you what? Oh, smile. Okay,
Xmethy was actually starting to recite Bohemian Rhapsody, and
right now
he was.
Oh, I didn't see it.
He for a time he was. And I still remember when Atlanta was still on the team. I think Atlanta and Muffin Q were actually doing like SpongeBob songs for a time. But hopefully this will get resolved soon.
No AP ever get DDoSed, because AP are real men. Takashi, a real man, supposedly because he plays AD or AP.
So hopefully this will get resolved soon. And like we were mentioning before during the last pause, if you do want to, hopefully this one is not a DDoS issue either. But as always, do check out do go ahead, read up on everything you need to. There's the Leaguepedia articles, Team Liquid, their forums. They've actually had to deal with this a long time ago as well. There's a lot of fantastic threads over on their forums. Nice. Bridging the gap between communities from hardships like this is kind of like it's
a shared tragedy. DDoSing.
Well, here's it's a shared trial. It's a shared trial and tribulation here, because it's like you've gotten that it really kind of like speaks also as to how big the LoL scene has actually gotten pretty recently. Is like the scene is big enough for someone to actually find it worthwhile to just waste their time in their room to do something annoying such as a DDoS.
Yeah, it makes me. I mean, like the way you're describing it makes me think of like Star Wars episode, whatever, the DDoS Wars, or I don't know, any sort of
there were
some
DDoS
Wars.
Well, there were actually some serious DDoS wars actually going on, like in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
because I remember, what was it Something Awful and E-Bombs World actually had like a huge spat a long time ago. Not to mention, I've had all the DDoS attacks originating from and targeted at communities like 4chan even, and it's kind of like it's strange. It's kind of like the last resort if you ever if you can't take because I remember like the whole Something Awful thing. It was just like couldn't exactly take a legal recourse on something, so they just kind of took it in their own hands. Like internet vigilante justice, it can be used as sometimes, not to say we condone that sort of activity, but just to give you a little bit of history on DDoSes in the internet. But he's back. One Bad Brad is back. Here we are, game number 1, heading on into the bush, and also Takashi X in mid, getting a little bit of vision there on to mTw to make sure you're not going to try anything funny, anything silly. And there you go, vision on balls over by the Wraiths. Ward going down, and by the way, nice little ward change as well. The time followed by the health, very convenient for a quick look. For a second there, I thought it was 2 wards.
Oh yeah, no. It is really nice being able to just glance at wards and get the information that you need. And there you see Orianna is very safe at like holding that off. So they recognize, all right, they haven't gone anywhere. They're all kind of held up top, and actually Morgana is sitting down bottom to make sure that they're going to be okay. So they want to protect against the invade on the mini golems. That's kind of surprising. That's not something you usually see, but it is kind of a smart decision. She can just throw her snare into the bush, which is what she's actually doing right now, and then walking through. So they're actually fine. She can back off, go back to mid lane, and then help Nautilus out with his jungle. So he'll be starting off with the blue. He's not going to be getting the wolves first. He's actually going up to the wraiths, so he's going to steal the wraiths to begin with. And this is actually always something interesting to me. You start off with the shield, but you activate it before you hit anything, because the cooldown is just slightly long enough where if you activate it after the wraith spawn or after the wolves spawn, you won't have enough time. So now the cooldown will be back up for him to do the red. So just stealing the big wraith and then coming over, so that's going to set back Nocturne a little bit. A little bit hugely, but hopefully if they get the knowledge quick enough, then maybe One Bad Brad can actually... Whoa, Muffin Cutie actually getting really aggressive there. That's why Mandatory Cloud wanted to get in on this invade. One Bad Brad may actually be going down here to exhaust. Tries to flash over, but the first blood actually going to be going over to Mandatory Cloud. But Muffin Cutie will also go down in the process. But Mandatory Cloud trying to run to safety, drinking that potion as much as possible. Zekin trying to close the distance, trying to get a stun, something, anything, not in range. Wow. Quick but really nice play from mTw. And the interesting thing is, normally you would expect the Nocturne versus Nautilus matchup, the best thing against ganking junglers like Nautilus is to send your aggressive counter junglers towards their jungle. And so Nocturne, that's kind of what Nocturne was expected to do, is counter jungle Nautilus a little bit. Instead, they started off with the counter jungling, and then an invade from the team shuts down One Bad Brad's jungle. So not only is his red gone, but there's no threat of recompense because Nocturne is still doing his blue, so he doesn't really have a good course of action. Then Ezreal going to steal those the experience mid is fantastic for him because he didn't want to fall behind from Corki, and in a 2v1 lane, they would have pushed him around a little bit, so he actually has a nice experience advantage because of it. And not to mention 4not has also pushed out bot lane a little bit too far, so it's going to be good farming for mTw. Bot lane is provided that wave actually doesn't hit the tower, which I don't think there's going to be too much of an issue there. Ping's actually going to be going down. They saw 4not saw Alistar running around, putting a ward
in the river. But
Nocturne
look
coming
at the
up.
blue. One Bad Brad, his smite is not up, but he's actually looking to see if he can't get anything in on this. Smithy, though, his smite
he's actually
is
walking
up.
right into Nautilus, and
Oh, there
Smithy
we
is
go.
pretty low. He tries to steal and does steal it, so he does get that, and then the
Nice.
fear going to be canceled by that hook. So Smithy does get out of there, but Nocturne able to get the blue. That is huge because Nautilus is really mana hungry.
Yep, so Nautilus just dinged 3. One Bad Brad as well. So now the junglers, experience-wise, are now even. So granted, the red has
But
yeah.
Brad Nocturne, he's actually pulled ahead, so it's even experience-wise. But Smithy, he started off with the boots, which a lot of times you'll want to start off with a regrowth pendant and go into fast Philosopher's Stone on someone like Nautilus to get you that early gold because you're not a very fast jungler. So Nocturne was set really far behind, but he's caught himself back up with that steal, and now he can continue jungling. He can continue ganking, whereas Nautilus needed to get back into base.
All right, and actually you see One Bad Brad actually setting up top lane, trying to make something happen onto Vlad. There are no wards in the top lane, waiting for the lane just to be pushed out a little bit. Just ducking back and forth, stun going down on the ball's bot lane, so you can try and get something there. But looks like Don's actually just going to be pushed a little bit too aggressively to tower, so One Bad Brad needs to go ahead and find greener pastures. Might as well just go ahead, sit back, farm up a little bit, and then you also got Smithy going ahead, taking his own red.
And the big thing with One Bad Brad setting up there is he's not going to be able to get a gank onto Vladimir. It's just really difficult. Vladimir is going to be playing defensively because he doesn't have any Nautilus support. So it wasn't ganking potential, but one thing that One Bad Brad always kind of tries to do is, in a lot of junglers, when you are running a Nocturne versus like a Nautilus, you want to try and set up where you think the ganks are going to happen. So you see he's sitting towards top lane. In the meantime, Nautilus is actually mid, so there might be a gank. But actually, Aurelia jumping onto Vladimir. There's the pull, so he gets out of there. But there's going to be the fear afterwards. They're going to be able to dive it, so the fear going off. But in the meantime, Nautilus in the mid lane, and there's the snare from Mandatory Cloud. Takashi X taking a lot of damage. The bump, he does get the flash over that wall, but he is very low. One more attack would be able to do it, but just barely getting out of there.
Nice. Triggering the warning on the sidebar there, getting really low. It was under like 100 health there for a moment. But Will managed to walk away from that one. And also top lane, Don managed to pull just quick enough so One Bad Brad could not get the fear on him. The fear actually does go through the pull. It still tracks him, as long as you can, the tether is still intact. But just managed to pull right before Nocturne was close enough. So 2 kills averted. Summoner spells being wasted. Got Don. You had to burn the heal in order to get to safety. And you also had the flash from Takashi X to try and get away there. But teleport's still up.
Chasing after Morgana. Mandatory Cloud a little bit out of position, and they might be able to get that. So actually, no, just backing off. Mandatory Cloud is okay.
And then you also see the ward at top lane in response to the presence. And there you go. Ball's actually going to go ahead and get the kill. Bot lane down onto Parole and just going to walk away from this one. Real easy.
Yeah, it's a really nice play, and they know that they have enough burst potential. Both lanes kind of do, but Ezreal is very safe, so that's huge for them to get those early advantages. And MTW doing really nicely so far. They know that 4not has the early advantage as far as map control. So by starting off and setting Nocturne behind and then having these aggressive wards, they know that they can shut down that early game advantage for 4not. And in the meantime, Mandatory Cloud, he gets the ultimate off of Takashi. We're going to have the hook back, and there it is. Smithy, there's the pull, but the Orianna ultimate from Takashi trying to get out of there, but he does go down.
Good plays on Mandatory Cloud in mid. So now that's going to be put in mid extremely far ahead. You got Morgana. Pretty huge on the wall. That first blood of money actually still causing quite a difference here. And doesn't have to necessarily back. Just going to go ahead and push the lane out before going to shop with all that fancy gold. Tricks getting some stuns, getting some damage down onto Don. He's just going to walk away, force him back just a little bit, force him away from the wave, trying to prevent some of that farming. Now Mandatory Cloud will go ahead and back. How much money has he got? Not quite enough for something like a catalyst, but could go get another ring and some foods. Something nice.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. But now with Aurelia having those null magic mantles, he knows he can exchange damage very effectively with Vladimir. So he's going to continue that aggression. He has his ultimate right now. Once he has the Ignite up, we might see a gank up top with Nocturne or with Orianna coming up, and he could just kind of bully him around.
Wow,
actually, just jumping on him. He has the Ignite. Oh, just like 15 seconds away.
Yeah. No, it's, next time Don tries to get back into the wave trying to farm, something might happen there. Muffin Cutie with the headbutt away. Parole going to be not close to Israel to catch up.
Oh, Nautilus walking up trying to steal the blue. Did he get it? No.
Nope.
Oriana just barely able to grab that in the last second.
And so there you go. And Nautilus still getting aggressive, but he's not too far behind. He's actually going to be entering the bot lane. And there's the headbutt, the pulverize, the hooks, the roots, and the stun will go ahead and give away. But there we go. There's plenty of damage going to get the kill. Muffin Cutie actually pops the ult just to be safe from the tower and will get away. So another kill on Parole in bot lane.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't react to that. They recognized that, or they should have.
They had the vision.
I'm pretty sure they had vision of X. I mean, they should have. He came in close enough at the
Brad.
blue, so it was kind of weird. One bad Brad is able to take the blue, so I think they were trying to bait him in so they could steal the blue on the other side of the map. Unfortunately, they baited a little bit too hard. They lost themselves. Oh, this missed snare. Vladimir is coming down top, but there's no one to back up. So
Brad's already got it. Brad's already got the blue. He's going to go ahead and back off. The awareness. Morgana did put a ward. So, this is just in case we get invaded and our blue is stolen, but not unbeknownst to the fact that beyond the wall it was actually already in progress. So Don figured it out a little bit too late, and this Nautilus going to be a little bit behind in the jungle for now.
Yeah, and Aurelia doing a nice job there, pushing the lane into tower and then getting out of there, recognizing that Nautilus would be there shortly. And Nocturne with that blue and with that red will be jungling at a pretty nice speed, so they can take some advantages there. Oriana actually taking the wolves, which is not something you usually see from the mid lane because of the difficulty taking the wolves
it's a
with
threat.
the reward, but it works.
Yeah, it's a threat of mandatory cloud. I mean, you saw the kill that happened earlier, and not to mention, Takashi X wants to hold on to the blue. And 4not, they have control of both blues now. Oh, there you go. There's the Morgana ult down on to Oriana. We'll get the second part, but there's one bad Brad to try and help out, trying everything. And there's the shockwave to keep Morgana still. Can you get this kill? Getting very low from all the physical damage. Just a little bit, but there's the flash and the hook from Nautilus. Can you get the root? There's a death charge going down, and Takashi X will fall. One bad Brad. The shield going down on to Nautilus to make sure he doesn't get feared. But there's Vlad here in time. They're diving this. They want this kill bad. There's the Vlad ult and the Q, and you are gone, Brad. Double buff onto Vladimir.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that actually worked out for them. mTw with the awesome bait mid, but Nautilus had actually walked away, so I wasn't sure at first if Mandatory Cloud didn't realize that Nautilus wasn't there, but they were able to pull it up. So really nice job. It seemed like Nocturne, that he stuttered for a second. Like he had one more attack on Morgana that would have killed her, and he just kind of stopped.
Oh,
but in the meantime, they're able to get the dragon. Yeah, so really nice
little addition to spec mode as well. Nice little notification when someone kills a dragon. No more guessing. If someone got the steal, there it is, right there in front of you, and a nice little announcement as well. Nice addition, right? I appreciate that one extremely much. Extremely much. What is that? Wow.
What is what?
Extremely much. What is my English doing?
Oh well.
I can't my English currently at the present.
Regardless of how your English is doing or not.
Irregardless.
Irregardless. Well, no, you can do it either way. It's actually the same thing. Trix is able to grab that top tower, so really nice job there. He's a little bit low. The harass from Vladimir will be kind of an issue, but if he just dives straight for a kill, it won't be. He is kind of low. He doesn't want to do it right now, but there was kind of that threat. The big thing is keeping an eye on Nautilus and recognizing where he is at any given point in time.
So top tower, top tier 1, going to be going to Trix. Vladimir's going to have a nice little opportunity to counter push as well. And there you go, Muffin Cutie being aggressive as hell, waiting for the wave to push. Nice ward behind the tower as well. But it did get spotted out. 4not does know it's there. I think it's a little bit too far away from tower range. Actually, no, that's.
I think what he's trying to do is just keep an eye on Nocturne, and he doesn't want Nocturne to come down the lane. They recognize that they can kind of win the matchup right now because they have some early advantages. So they want to be able to abuse Corki and Tarek, but they don't want to walk themselves into a trap. So right now they have great ward coverage. They have a pink push in the bush. So they have a pink ward in the bush so that they can allow Nautilus to get up there. And now actually Morgana is coming in as well. So it is a 4v2 gank. There is the Oriana ultimate. There are teleport. There is the Nocturne ultimate as well. And Nocturne is starting to make his way down.
I don't think he's going to get there in time. There goes the Ezreal ult to look to clear the wave. And there's the bind. Not going to be getting anything, but the flash headbutt pulverized does not hit Zeke into flash away. Manages to get there in time, but I think there's enough pressure to get a huge chunk off of this tower. But in the meanwhile, though, while you got 4 members bot, Takashi
they're
X looking
baiting
to
them
push
in.
mid. There you
Nautilus
go.
and Morgana right in
This could be
behind them.
bad right there. There's a pulverize and headbutt into the wall. Nocturne ult. Go down. Try and get some extra damage down. Mandatory Cloud with the ult. Actually going to get the second proc on Pearl, but Nocturne will go down. Alistar goes down as well. And MTW might be regretting his decision. Balls is exhausted. Has to shift away. Takashi X and Parole got so low.
Yeah, I'm surprised that 4not decided to go for that,
Oh,
but in the meantime, Trixie
Trix.
grabbing Vladimir here. He does have the ultimate on him, so he does have to watch out for some of that damage. The pull, Holy It's Don might be able to pull this out,
There
but
you
no,
go.
there it is, the finish.
Nice kill there. But bot tower is hurting pretty bad, but that was a really good defend from 4not. However, MTW, they're still up in their business. They're still grabbing buffs. They're still, trying to make the best of the situation they had.
It was a risky defense from 4not. So it was a 4v4, and they knew it was a 4v4, and they just decided to head on fight it. And they had the tower advantage, but it was a 1-for-1 trade, and they lost Nocturne for Alistar. So it's jungle for a support isn't really an even trade there. So actually, MTW, not only did they get that, but they also got the tower, so it was to their advantage. But I mean, I don't know. I was just kind of surprised that they went back in to try and bait that fight. But they wanted to take an advantage of that Orianna teleport, see if they can catch MTW off guard. But they have to be expecting it. I mean, that's the only reason that Orianna would have that teleport and would be sitting on it.
Yep, 4not last time had control of both blues, but I think this time now MTW is just going to go ahead and take them both for themselves as well this time around. Mandatory's going to have that with them still in the mid lane. How much damage did Takashi X actually get on mid tower? Not a whole lot, actually. So still looking to push. He's still looking to farm.
I am kind of curious. Actually, this is really exciting from 4not. So not only do they have the bot tower, but now immediately transitioning to the top turret. Rather than allowing the laning phase to continue, they're taking complete control of the map. Now that the teleport is down, it will be for another, 3 minutes. It's such a long cooldown. And actually, Morgana on Takashi.
Morgana trying to get the second, gets the second part of the stun, but the flash away will get Orianna to safety. And Nautilus is kind of wasting his time trying to see if he can make something else happen for another kill. But there you go, pulverize, headbutt top lane, Tricks.
Nocturne's here too.
Nocturne's not too far away. There's the Q to get the speed increase. The spell shield goes up and is immediately burned, but the fear going to be going down on the ball is going to go ahead and keep him busy. But now the turret is actually getting some free damage down onto MTW. Muffin Cutie has to pop the ult just to be safe there, but Tricks being CC'd so much actually does go down at Orianna with the ult, will not be hitting anyone. Takashi X does have to back off, but MTW surgically removing Aurelia from that fight.
Yeah, 4not was almost able to pick that up. It looked like they had a little bit of an advantage there, but weren't able to follow up. I thought they might have enough damage if Nocturne had just continued to chase, and then Orianna picked it up. In the meantime, Corki is going to be able to grab a tower, but because MTW is just kind of roaming as a team, they can take advantage of these fighting situations. And actually, Nocturne, no, he's going to get out of there. Yeah. So they're actually going to be able to continue pushing, maybe take down the second turret.
So now, Takashi X ult is down, but is wandering back up once again top lane. One bad Brad can't defend this alone, but very soon it could be a 4v3 situation. So right now, MTW needs to get out of there. Takashi X with a slow pull from Vlad. We'll get him out of there, but for how long? There you go. There's the Vlad ult and the turnaround headbutt pulverize. But the Vlad ult, will he get anybody off of this? Yeah, hey, there's a Taric going down. There's the Alistar going down as well. Morgana actually got Corki bot lane, but we'll check that out in a second. But there you go, balls and Tricks 1v1 real quick, and there's Xmithy with the hook. The shield just in time from Takashi X, but he should be going down. And there you go, Tricks. Aurelia going down real quick as well. Let's go back
that
just for real quick.
That was a desperation fight from 4not. They recognized how far MTW is ahead. They were kind of low. They had a 4v3. However, Nocturne had no mana, so Nocturne didn't get to use any of his spells. He basically just walked into the AoE and died. Yeah. And there, Morgana able to pick up the kill on Corki as well. But
Flash ult.
They didn't really have a great opportunity to win this fight. They needed their tanks, Aurelia and Nocturne, to be at full, force, and Corki as well. There's no Corki, so they're missing out on all their damage, and they're going to try and take down Nautilus, who's naturally incredibly tanky, and then Ezreal and Vladimir, who are both very difficult to take down. In the meantime, Brad jumping onto Vladimir here. He will get the fear off, but Vlad actually gets the pull, will be very close to getting out, and will be safe. 4not
did not have most of the vision they wanted. The only one nearby that was actually in vision range was Dawn, so just Nocturne just zoomed right in, and he's pretty low. Might as well give it a shot, but Dragon is back up. MTW should be able to secure this once again for themselves. 4not, they're not, they're nice ward in that bush. They actually got the tail end of the vision from two members of MTW trying to take the Dragon. They know but they should be able to secure it for themselves. And Parole just trying to get some extra tick damage from a distance with those rockets. And Tekashi X also trying to keep everyone in one spot with the slow, but alas, Dragon is MTW's. But Trix in response is looking to push out to top lane just a little bit. Nocturne still also farming his own jungle as well, but Muffin Cutie is also getting pretty aggressive here. And Parole's just really been kind of playing his own game, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He needs to, just continue farming. And if they can farm, they can pull back into this game. But they really have to work out the deficit. And the issue is how much AoE they're going to have from Vlad and Morgana. And if Aurelia and Nocturne can get tanky enough and then Corki gets strong enough, they are definitely going to have an opportunity in this game.
Yeah, I didn't realize how far behind Parole was in comparison to Balls. Like, that's more than a 2K deficit. And that's a lot of farm to try and catch up with that. But, one good team fight, though, could definitely swing it in their favor. But right now, MTW is actually looking pretty strong with the 8K gold lead before not securing their own blue. But Mandatory Cloud's not too far behind, but actually may get caught out here. There's the stun from Tarek. Orion ult just missing Morgana, unfortunately. But there you go. Dawn trying to get some extra damage here. And Muffin Cutie is not too far away either. That CC could be a monster, but they will all back off. Returning on into the mid because it looks like Nautilus is looking to push. They're aiming for that tier 1 tower in mid. Ult from Aurelia just looking to clear the wave, but MTW just damned a torpedo is going to go ahead and take that tower straight out if we need to. But hey, you still got one minion, hero minion.
MTW has just been making all the plays and forcing everything this game. The hook
on to Tekashi X. There's a depth charge and pulverize headbutt. Everything. Everything done.
They're making things happen. They're just aggressively pushing as a team. They recognize they have this game right now, as long as they just don't make any mistakes. And they've put themselves in this situation. They made the plays early on, the great roaming and everything. It worked out fantastically for them.
Yep, and they have more than enough damage to capitalize on all of their CC that they have in the Nautilus, in the Alistar. Muffin Cutie popping the ult, just looking to be a little bit of a soak there. The turret can only do so much with that ult on, and the inhibitor is looking to go down here as well. Tekashi X is actually not going to be back for another 5 seconds yet. Still more than enough time for MTW to take this inhib and run. There it goes. And now Xmithy with the huge Morgana shield on him. I love how those scale based on character size. This makes it look so much more impressive, but there you go. One bad trying to get something. Nocturne ult on Xmithy, but there's Oriana with the teleport. Will actually be in this fight. The ults, everything going down. Trix actually does get the kill on Muffin Cutie. Nocturne is the next one actually to go down. And now 4not is looking to retreat. They're looking to split. It's like, okay, we both got one. Hook going down to Tekashi X once again, but now Xmithy may be in a little bit of trouble. Peck damage coming in from Parole. Missiles. Mandatory Cloud is a little bit far behind as well. Tekashi X a little bit too far out. That was a huge misstep. And the hook down onto Parole. Depth charge is back. Corki goes down. Massive mistake from Tekashi X.
Yeah, just not quite able to hit the combo. He saw kind of an opportunity where they're all kind of grouped and thought, all right, if I get the flash ult in, I'll be okay. And I don't know, just couldn't quite get it. So
yeah,
they're just kind of, I don't know, they're trying to make the desperate plays, and that's to be expected. When teams finish the inhibitor, that's always a moment of weakness. MTW, they were all very low. It was an opportunity for 4not. They saw the opportunity. They tried to capitalize on it. Weren't quite able to pick up as many kills as they would like.
A desperate team can often make desperate plays, or so I hear, so I've been told. And that was, that was definitely one of them. But now, inhibitors down. MTW had that, regardless. And Baron is up, ready for the taking. They may very well be in a position to go ahead and take it. Everyone's starting to wander on up. And once MTW has vision on Corki here in bot lane, that's going to be like a pretty much guaranteed go in. But you know what? Actually, they've started it already. Nautilus and Vlad pulling on up the rear. So it should be more than enough damage. Muffin Cutie going to be tanking the Baron with the ult on just for a little while. And Baron is about 1/3 health and should be going down pretty quick. And, there's none the wiser from 4not. There's that confirmation message right
Baron
there.
Kill.
That is a
Sorry,
kill.
I told someone that I would do that. From now on, that's how I'm announcing Baron kills. Is Baron Kill.
I want to play Unreal Tournament now, kind of.
There you go.
I gotta play Unreal. I haven't played that game in forever, but still though, we got this madness to still finish first, and MTW is in a pretty good position right now. 12K lead. They've got Baron. Inhib's already been taken out before, and there's not a whole lot that 4not can do to try and defend this. Now Parole is here with the rest of the team. Nice bind going on to One Bad Brad. That spell shield cannot be done after the fact, unfortunately. And there's Takashi X with the orb telling everyone to just kind of back off. Nice bind through the wall for mandatory. But there's still actually some pretty good creep clearing options here from 4not. They may actually be able to delay this for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, that is the potential, but the issue is with the mid lane. Very quickly, this top tower is going to go down, so you actually see he's just tanking the tower for a second. It doesn't even matter. There it is, the bind on the roll, followed by the hook. Very quickly, they clear him out of there.
That's
both
it.
Corki and Orianna going down.
I think that's it. I think that actually may be the last fight, that maybe everything mTw needs to just go ahead and take all the minions on into the base. There you go. That's it. That's the surrender. 4not knows it's over. Game 1 gonna be going to mTw.NA. Fantastic, fantastic job, guys.
Yeah, and the big thing was the early control, and they didn't ever allow 4not an opportunity to get in the game. It was just play after play after play, running around the map, taking advantage of things. So really nice job from them. Yeah, they were just able to win early, and it was very cool to see.
It was very good. It was very entertaining.
The level 1 was fantastic. Having their team run up to invade the blue for Nocturne, set him behind, and then Nautilus going and stealing the red. It was a really creative play that worked out well for him, because it's not something that you would expect. Usually you would expect Nocturne to be the safer jungler and a little bit more counter jungling from them.
So you know what, mTw looking really strong, and so let me get this perspective, because this is, now we're seeing mTw here.
Yeah.
Sans Atlanta.
Yeah.
How do you feel about mTw right now?
I think they look good. I mean, one game doesn't make a team, but they've been playing well recently, and I don't know. We'll have to see. They've always been really aggressive with their kind of team comps, what kind of strategies they run. A lot of that has come from Atlanta, and his kind of creativity for the game. He's been always kind of a game changer, and pulling champions into play that hadn't really seen a lot of play. So we'll have to see how they continue to do. But they're definitely a really aggressive team. Mandatory Cloud and Xmithy are both really respected as players. They're considered some of the best players in the game. Balls as well. He's been fantastic in the top lane, and he looks really strong in the bottom lane. So we'll have to see. All
right, so we're going to be going to a quick commercial, and then after that we will be back. Game number 2, mTw.NA and 4not.Fire. These are the IPL Face Off San Francisco Showdown qualifiers. But hey, it's top 8. Everyone from top 8 on is going to be double elim. So if you're out here, you're not quite out yet. And we're going to see who moves on to winners round of 4 in just a minute. So do please stay tuned.